What we're discussing today is not just Anna's new fast food themed song, but also Anna delivering a perfect example of why J-pop is so special. A perfect and actually surprisingly easy to overlook example. This song has more to talk about and more to unpack than you might expect. So let's get to unpacking. Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where I might as well start by giving a little bit of context as to how I got to reviewing this song and hearing it in the first place. Don't worry, I'll try to keep the story quite short. But anyway, I first heard of Anna actually not that long ago when I was doing one of our Twitch streams that we do alongside this channel, where basically people give me songs to do reactions to and just sort of give initial opinions to, and one of them was the first take performance by Anna. Actually, it was one of a couple that she's done. And if you haven't seen the first take before, which I'm imagining you probably have, it's just artists coming to perform, first take, in front of a white background, into a microphone, all very simple. And yet Anna just immediately, her whole visual aspect, the way that she came into the frame wearing some crazy clothes, had just an amazing personality, her body language, everything, and then she sung a really catchy song, so I can't remember which one it was. It was just brilliant. I remember thinking, this is what I want from pop. It reminded me of the first time that I heard like Kyari Pami Pami, the first time a lot of us heard Kyari Pami Pami, and that was a big thing. Really sort of, even if you knew J-pop, that was like a wow moment, because it was something that had more depth. It both had all the stereotypes of J-pop and being cute and kawaii, but managed to be something so much more. And it felt like Anna had managed to capture that and do it in a sort of a new, refreshing way, but not just sort of regurgitating Kyari Pami Pami. It felt like something new and exciting that was bringing a little bit of personality to the cute pop formula. And so I was like, I've got to check out more of this singer. And I checked out a few songs that I liked, but I didn't really get time to doing a review. I mean, I was moving house and various things. But anyway, then I had like my notifications on, and suddenly out of nowhere, the other day, this song dropped, this McDonald's theme song. I just pressed play, and then I had so much I wanted to talk about, and so let's get on to talking about this song. So let's start by getting the song structure out of the way. Yes, I cannot believe I'm wording it like that, but there's so much more depth I want to talk about beyond just the song structure. But that's not to say the song itself isn't good. It does fit into an area of sort of a J-pop sound that we've all heard before. That I must first acknowledge. I will give it credit though for the fact that it is extremely catchy. I'm not saying that as a disrespect. If anything, it does all of the things that we want from a J-pop song. But if you're not naturally the sort of person who usually likes J-pop, then this is probably not going to win you over. Now, what it does manage to have is a very good catchy chorus. It was a chorus that when I first heard it, I thought, that's good, but I didn't really expect it would be stuck in my head as long as it actually ended up being. I remember waking up the very next morning after it came out and opened my eyes, and the first thing that was going around in my head was da da na 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 na. I thought, oh wow, okay, that song really stuck with me much more than I expected, and that's when I decided to start doing this review for it. But yeah, it's a song that does a lot of the sounds we've heard before. It's fairly simple pop, but it's well structured, it's got a bit of character, it's got a bit of attitude to it, and a lot of that is from the lyrics, which is what I want to move on next to, because this is where it gets interesting. See, the whole subject of this song is slightly tongue-in-cheek and interesting. The song itself is called SMILE AGENAI, which, in case you don't know, I believe translates roughly to something along the lines of, I'm not going to provide a smile, basically. And the whole video is set in a fast food restaurant. Now, at first, all the branding in the fast food restaurant just looks like generic, we've created a fast food brand for this video. And even when the burger comes out, it's in a little wrapper that has the Anna sort of name of the song and that branding on it. However, there's one item in the video, the cup sitting on the table in front of her, that had McDonald's on it. Just that one item, the McDonald's logo, and it's facing at the camera all the time. But I thought, this can't actually be sponsored by McDonald's. I mean, the very tone of the song is, I don't have to provide a smile. That's like what the song's about. In fact, the lyrics are talking a lot about her being kind of incompetent at work and, sort of, hey, I might mess things up, but hey, I'm still be happy. And it's this sort of very weirdly conflicted feeling, not conflicted in an emo way, just conflicted in a, I'm prone to making mistakes kind of way. That's what the lyrics are about. And I thought, is this really something that McDonald's would be sponsoring? If they were sponsoring it, wouldn't there be more McDonald's branding? So anyway, I let the video get through to the end and I looked at the credits which appear at the end of the video, as so often they do in J-pop videos. Not a single word about McDonald's. And I was thinking, no way did she put this out of a license. Anyway, I ended up going to the Twitter page for Japanese McDonald's, and I did find it would appear that McDonald's have okayed this, McDonald's have endorsed it. Now, given that they've only got the one cup in the video, and given that there's no real credit for them at the end of the song, I would really love to know, by the way, if you're an Anno fan, if anyone can tell me this, was this actually something that was from the beginning, from the inception, a tie-in with McDonald's? Or was this something where she wrote it and then it got the branding put on later? Because I can't help but feel it almost comes across as a little bit of a diss towards that sort of fast food culture. You know, a culture where, you know, we all know the whole thing is, hey, when you're at work, smile to the customers, show a smile, you know, say hello, you know, it will be very welcoming. And yet she's kind of like, I'm incompetent, I might get stuff wrong, no, I don't really want to smile. I'll smile, yeah, it might be rewarding. That's kind of the tone of the song. And, you know, in the video, she both plays the person behind the counter and the person in there eating the burger. And, you know, the very first verse where she's talking about sort of being trapped indoors and everything, it's not an overwhelmingly positive song, but it just gave me this vibe of, whether this be a McDonald's time from inception or not, there's something about this where it's a little bit more human. And this all somewhat brings me back round to my original point of why this song really highlights just what a good pop song should be, and why J-pop in particular is so good at delivering great pop songs. Now, to explain that, we need a little bit of context, so sorry, quick story time again here. But K-pop of the recent 10 years, the last decade or so, has been really, really huge. And the question of why it managed to take over so much from where previously Western pop had had such a stranglehold, there's many things to that. Yes, the internet, yes, the world getting smaller in many ways, but I think one of the big core things is that Western pop music before that had been bright and fun, and during the 90s there was all those big bright pop videos, but just the recent years, certainly in this millennium, suddenly all those bright colourful videos were slowly giving way to more low contrast grey videos where there was more songs about happiness and joy and just kind of throwaway fun things that you could sing along to. They were more and more being replaced by songs where we had to listen to the personal struggles of the pop star and really care about their personal journey, and then there was more messages about sort of politicized things. Just everything stopped losing that sense of carefree fun that you want pop to have. And then K-pop came along and said, here's a bunch of good-looking people dancing to bright, fun music. And people lapped it up, and can you blame them? Of course not. It was a really great way of doing that. Now, you could say J-pop has been doing that for a while. I would say that as a general, one of the reasons why J-pop is never going to be as popular in the West as K-pop is because K-pop, no offense, I do like some K-pop, is pretty formulaic. It pretty much follows a formula. It follows a formula that's kind of familiar to Western pop as well. It's very well produced, but you know, it's following a fairly minimalist formula. You heard one K-pop song, you can probably tell the arrangement for most K-pop songs, whereas J-pop songs tend to be a little bit more different. And this brings us on to the next point, why I think J-pop, and this song is a good example of this, is so great for people who like pop music, but you know, want to get the most out of it. Don't just want it to be a formulaic chart-topping thing. And that's because when you look at this, as I say, J-pop songs tend to be less formulaic. Yeah, you tend to get the catchy choruses and things like that, and they tend not to sort of be overly challenging. But here you've got a song that has a lot of fun little ideas in it. It's playful. It has that bit where it slows down at the end. There's a bit where it breaks down to her just listing off the ingredients of a burger. It's got that little bit of craziness to it, but doesn't detract from the fact that it's still supposed to be an accessible, fun song. On top of that, it manages to be colourful and accessible in the way that if you were just like, if you had like a kid listening to it, they'd just be able to take it in and smile and dance along and sing along to it. But for someone who wants a little bit more depth in there, there is a kind of an underlying message, a bit of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge message about, you know, just how, you know, life's a bit stressful. Yeah, I'm going to eat a burger, but it doesn't mean I have to be happy, you know. We know that we're in a culture where people as general try to be happy, especially in Japan. We try to keep a general sense of everyone that's, you know, pull together and do a good job and, you know, try no one to make too much of a fuss. And yet at the same time, it addresses like how people might not always feel like they fit in with that. It's a song that has a little bit of depth, but at the same time then doesn't have to go in that other direction that I was mentioning earlier, where it has to be all self-indulgent. It's not trying to be relatable by whinging. It's not trying to be overly fluffy and fun to the point of being just totally disposable. It's just a song with a message, a song with enough writing. It's bright and colourful, it's catchy, but it doesn't mean that it's just totally devoid of any ideas. And this is so perfectly brought across by Anna herself. Because I have to confess that although I'm very early on my Anna journey, I've only heard a couple of songs by her, only seen a few videos. At the moment, she just comes across like exactly what you want from a pop star. And I say this because of the fact that obviously she's got the choreography, she's got a voice that it's not like one of those life-changing, wow, voice is incredible, she's like the greatest singer ever, but she's got a voice that's both fun to listen to and also kind of has an approachable human sort of quality to it. Almost sounds a little bit like she's singing and talking to you at the same time. It's got a relatable quality, but still very musical. But the other thing is just the whole way she presents herself. Now, I mentioned before in that first take video that her fashion sense seemed to be crazy. I don't know if she's like Kyary Pammy who designed her own sort of visual thing. But either way, she definitely has a flair for the visual, which is great for a pop star anyway. But it's just also the character. Now, when you look at this music video, it really came across to me. I mean, it's her performing two roles and singing kind of to herself, but the whole character on her face, yes, she's got that thing, she's very cute, and it's easy to be sort of drawn into the thing of, cute person, perfect pop star. But beyond that, she's just kind of got the facial expressions as well. There's a little bit of attitude, a little bit of character, a little bit of personality. You don't know these people, but I can't help but feel that she's someone who's probably got a little bit of depth, a little bit of understanding. She seems to just exude character, as well as just a sort of a pop personality, exudes a good sense of character as well. So again, I'm very early on my Anna journey, and I'll be very interested to see what you guys say in the comments. But so far, I just kind of get a good feeling this is the kind of person you want to be a pop star. So yeah, tell me about all the shocking revelations in the press about her or whatever. So, in conclusion, this song made me very happy. Yes, as I pointed out before, I'm not going to tell you that Anna's got like the voice of a generation. I am not going to tell you that this song is going to blow you away. What I am going to tell you though is that this is just the groundwork for what just music that makes you happy. Stuff that makes you go, yes, do you know what? In a world where pop can and has demonstrated in certain places, definitely will become just disposable, common denominator crap if left to do so. It's so great to see Japanese pop like this that demonstrates that you can do something which is fun but also has a little bit of character to it. And you can head it up by a pop star who really comes across as having a bit of personality, who is just sort of likable, but not just sort of surface level kawaii, you know, she's got something that seems to be a real depth, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more of her music. Yeah, this just made me happy. And that's really great, when you can come out of something and saying, you know what, this might not be the greatest song I've ever heard, but it's got caught in my head, hasn't made me annoyed, and has made me just feel good about checking out more of this artist. That's a really positive sign. So there you go. I know we got a lot of people who are like hard rock fans on this channel, so I'd just be really interested to see what you guys say as well. But whoever you are, whether you're a fan of Anna or not, get in the comments, tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.